A very big welcome to Tuesday Tips Live, wherever you're watching this, on our Facebook page, over on our YouTube channel. It's me, Phil, here, back in the Digital DJ Tips studio with another scintillating broadcast, and I've got a great one for you today, so I can't wait to tell you all about it. But first, as always, I just want to tell you what this is about, especially if you're new to the channel. We are Digital DJ Tips. We're the world's biggest online DJ school, and we're here to help you become better DJs and better DJ producers. I'm Phil Morse, the founder of the company, also the author of Rock the Dance Floor, a best-selling book on Amazon about how to DJ. And our mission here is to help you in all kinds of ways. So we have the Digital DJ Tips website, we have our YouTube channel, which you might be watching this on, our Facebook page that you might also be watching this on. And we also go and cover DJ shows, we have reviews, we have tips and tricks articles, all kinds of stuff to help you for free. And then we also have our paid for courses. We have introduction courses, beginner courses, taster courses, and complete courses that can really get you a massive result, can turn you into a pro producer, a pro DJ, set up a DJ business on your own, teach you to scratch, to DMC standards and all that kind of thing. So that's what we do. I've got a currently available complete course to tell you about before the end of this broadcast, but we'll do that bit at the end. So that's us. So if you are new, welcome. You're going to learn some stuff today, I hope. And as I say, we've got a fun one for you today. If you are new, if you're not new to us, if you're an existing member, an existing subscriber, it's great to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. And if you're watching this on the replay, it's because you probably weren't subscribed to the channel. So if you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe and click the bell. If you're on Facebook, again, make sure you subscribe and go into your settings and see our posts first. That means that whenever we go live, you will see it. And things often go wrong, right? You want to see it all going wrong live. You don't want to watch it on the replay, right? You want to be involved. Of course, you can ask questions live, and that's the whole point of these. You can ask questions underneath, either on Facebook or YouTube. We'll get back to you on both. If we can't answer your question live, my team and I will answer you after the event. So even if you're watching the replay, you can still ask questions, so please do so. Right, before we get stuck in and get started then, let's just get some early hellos out of the way. So I will start off by saying hello to Jonathan Silva de Leon, who is tuned in. It's good to have you here. Hi to Danny. Hi to Steve Deraps. Hi to Ethan Trevor Gardner, who says, hi, I'm listening while at work. Hi to Delmar Brown. Hi to Limin Lee. Good morning to you. Tyson says, the book is really good and a good little handbook to have on hand. I guess that's what a handbook is, isn't it, Tyson? So thank you for that vote of confidence. Beermat96 says, afternoon, Phil and the team. Hope it's better weather there than it is here in Blighty. It is beautiful sunny weather outside here in Gibraltar. Not that we know because it's a studio and we've got all the shutters and blinds closed, but hey. So that's Facebook, and a few early shout outs from over in YouTube, on our YouTube channel. So hello to you if you're tuned in over on YouTube. Hello to Curtis, who says, hey chap. Hi to Charles, who says hello. Sam says, hi from Toronto. Good to have you here, Sam. Emig says hi. Jorge Cardona says, hello, mister. Matt says, hi from Ireland. Pomona, that's Emig Salgado. Good to have you here, Pomona. Ash 1 Mil, hello to you. Tofik says, hello, how can I get the book? The book is available on Amazon. You can buy it on Amazon. You can also get a Kindle version. You can also get an audiobook version, all from Amazon. You can also get it on iTunes, you know, the iBook store for Apple. And you can order it from any bookshop as well. It's called Rock the Dance Floor by me, yours truly, Phil Morse. So that's how to get the book. Louis says, hi from South Africa. And Shane says, hello as well. So, right, lots of people here already. Today, we're talking about the 5 public music rules for non-DJs. So it's going to be a bit of fun today. These are 5 things that if you're not a DJ, you really have to know before you play music in public. So here's what I want you to do, DJs. I want you to share this broadcast because we want to get this word far and wide. If you've ever been at a barbecue, a party, a restaurant, a bar, a lounge, an event in your town, and the public music, the music blaring out over that PA system has been awful. And if you recognize any of these mistakes, the second you recognize the mistake, hit the share button and share it, because we want to get the word out to the people making these mistakes to make life better for everyone. So this is all about getting the world to understand the real basics about playing music in public, the stuff that people get wrong again and again and again. And I guarantee that you're going to recognize loads of these. And as soon as you do, hit those likes, hit those loves, hit those thumbs up. Let's have some interaction here. But hit the share buttons. Let's get these rules out far and wide. And if you could think of any more rules that I haven't covered, cover them down there. We will kind of update this, and if we get enough and it's good enough material, we'll write it up into a post over on the website as well. We want to get the word out to people who, for whatever reason, get put in charge of the music and they are not DJs, right? So that's what it's all about today. Share this, please. We want to get this far and wide. Okay, so look, here's the problem here. Half the world hears music. You hear music, I hear music. I mean, we hear music on someone else's headphones on the bus, right? Sat next to us. We're following along. We're thinking, who is it? I wonder what remix this is. We hear music, right? We've got the music playing in our cars. We're seeing the windscreen wipers and we're saying, oh, no, it's on the beat. It's on the beat. No, it's going forward a bit. Oh, it's off the beat now. Oh, it's coming back again. Yep. We're crazy, right? We're the half that hear music. But half the world do not hear music. Half the world, music is like fresh air. Music is like noise. Music is just there. They don't tune into it. And if you don't believe me, let me give you an example. I was at the gym the other day, and my personal trainer at the gym, they were playing really heavy, aggressive, swearing, gangster hip hop, really, pretty hardcore stuff. And there's some girls in the gym, and I said to him, I think it's a bit threatening to have girls having to work out to this kind of, and it was pure misogyny, right? And I was like, I don't like it. I don't think it's right. And he said, what? I said, this music, and it's loud, right? And he's like, honestly, mate, I never hear it. I was like, God, really? And another example, I've got a friend who runs a really nice Indian restaurant in the urbanization, in the development where I live. Really nice. They've got a bar from like as good as anything you'll see in London or New York. They've got chefs they've flown in from Bangladesh who really know their food. The place is brilliant. And I said to him once, your music's terrible, man. You've got to sort your music out in here. And he looked at me a bit offended. He said, it's all right. I'll just put some music on. It's okay. I was like, I tried to explain to him. He wasn't listening. I was like, okay, look, if you change your mind, give me a shout. He's like, okay. So I got a phone call one May it was. I got a phone call and he's like, Phil, I'm at the airport. And I just got a text from one of my regulars saying, I'm not eating in your restaurant again until you sort that music out. I need your help, Phil. And I was like, of course I'll help you, but what happened? And he said, the guy said, you're playing Christmas music and it's May. And I'm like, that's pretty bad. He's like, yeah, that's not the worst bit. I've been working there every day for the last 2 weeks and I haven't noticed. So look, half the world hears music. That's us. Half the world doesn't hear music. And this is about helping the half the world that doesn't hear music to do it right when they're in charge of the music for whatever reason. They're running the restaurant, they put the barbecue on and there's no DJ there. Whatever the reason is, these are the rules for those people. Hit the share button. Let's get this out far and wide. So the first thing is, if you are one of those people watching this because your good DJ friend has hit the share button and you really are one of the people like my friend Bob who runs the restaurant, like my personal trainer who doesn't hear the gangster hip hop in his gym, if you're one of those people and someone comes up to you in your establishment and says, you need to do something about this music, listen to them. Be their friend. They can help you with this stuff. Or if you still have to do it yourself, listen very carefully to these rules, okay? Okay, let's go through. These are the 5 rules for non-DJs in charge of the music, right? And again, I'd like you to share yours underneath and hit the likes if you agree with these rules and if you're like, I've been there. And also share this. Okay, rule number 1. This is to non-DJs. This is your top rule, your top rule. Volume is your biggest tool. Volume is your biggest tool. Turn it down when there's no one there and turn it up when there is. That's it. The number of times, we were talking about this at Digital DJ Tips today, and Ben, our production assistant, said to me, there's this bar that I used to DJ in, and I used to turn up at 9 o'clock every Friday night, and no one was out yet. They don't come out till later. And they would be playing the most hard, fast EDM at top volume you could imagine every week, and there was literally no one in the place. And it was like, God, man, what are you doing? And I dreaded arriving because I had to take over and kind of get some atmosphere going in this place. Loud music is no one's friend in an empty venue. So look, volume's your biggest tool. Turn it down when there's no one there, turn it up when there is, and monitor it all the time. Say, go out to where people are. Don't stand behind your bar or wherever you have to work. Go out and have a look. And if it sounds too loud and people are struggling to talk and shouting at each other, turn it down a bit. And then later on, when people they've had a few drinks and they've said what they want to say and they want to dance or something, turn it up a bit. But volume's your biggest tool. And related to this, turning it up doesn't always make it louder. Sometimes turning it up makes it more distorted. So there is a difference between volume and distortion. Distortion hurts people's ears, doesn't give them any more pleasure, breaks your audio equipment. Volume, when the speakers and the amps can handle it, makes it louder. So especially when a place is filling up, be careful with that volume. If you and it's really full and you haven't turned it up that loud before, go and listen. Make sure you're not pushing the system too far and creating distortion. There is a difference between turning the volume up and creating distortion. So that is rule number one. Volume is your biggest friend. Use it wisely. And we're counting down our 5 rules, or we're covering our 5 rules for non-DJs in charge of public music, bars, restaurants, and all that kind of thing. I want to go and get some feedback from our crowd here. So John says, well said, over on Facebook, on YouTube, and over on the Facebook page. I'm on the night shift. It's lucky to catch this, says Craig. So don't get caught, says Digital DJ Tips, helping out our people who are illicitly watching this. So the only time it's good to have volume up loud when a place is open, says Ali, and annoyingly Ali. Okay, yeah, Ali says I sometimes can't get the comments to open, but that opened all right. It says the only time to have the volume turned up loud when a place has just opened, such as a warehouse or club, is when the first DJ is on. But even then, the first DJ is on. Any warm-up DJ knows that volume is their best friend. Why? Because you can keep the volume nice and low, and as soon as you just want to give that first frisson of excitement, you can boost it noticeably. And then you can turn it down again very, 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 very slowly and then boost it again. So even then, volume's your friend as a DJ. Play sound flat through the mixer, says Delmar. Yeah, this is a great idea. I mean, to start with, keep the mixer flat and only alter the EQs if you have to for some, reason that you've decided, not just randomly. Agreed. All right then. I work mobile, says Zach, and you really don't have to crank the volume up when it's early. Not that many people are there. I agree. So volume is your biggest friend. If you are in charge of the music and you're a non-DJ, use it wisely. Keep it down, increase it when people arrive, alter it over the night. And as people leave at the end, if you're open till 4 and everyone's gone by 2:30, turn it down. The people who are left will appreciate the fact that you're reacting to what's going on around them. Anyway, that's enough about volume because we've got another 4 to go. We're covering the rules for non-DJs in charge of the music. And I'm asking you to hit share to get this out to all your non-DJ friends who might one day be in charge of the music. They might even have been in charge of the music already when you've been there and you've had to sit through some of these atrocities that we're reporting today. So number 2, play music for the occasion or the place, not for yourself. Just because you love goth rock, it doesn't mean it's the right thing to play at sunset in your beach bar. This is another one we see all the time. People just thinking, and I'm not saying that people are bad, they're not bad people who do this, but they just think, I've got to put some music on. What do I like? And they whip their phone out and say, I like this, I'll put that on, that'll do. Because to them, it's just music. Music's music, right? The other half. But it's not true. Music should be picked for the context that you're playing it in. I talked earlier about the EDM, hard EDM being played at 9 o'clock in an empty bar. There's one example. Music should be played for the context and for the place, not for you. This isn't about you. It's not about your favorite music. It's about what works for the place. So if you are playing in a public venue, just go look at what the other places are playing and play something similar. If you really want an education on this, go to any big brand, go to any chain restaurant, any big brand that you think has got the same kind of values as the place you're playing at, and listen to what they're playing. Here in Europe, Wagamama's is a very good example. Their music's excellent. It's chosen very carefully for their clientele and so on. But look, it's not rocket science. Play something laid back in the daytime, play something a bit more dancey at night and at the weekends. But think about what is popular among the people you're trying to attract. That's what you're playing. It's a commercial decision, just like a mobile DJ is playing what the people want, not what that person personally likes, right? So rule number 2, pick music for the place and for the occasion, not for yourself. So we're counting down the 5 big mistakes and the 5 rules, therefore, for people who are in charge of music publicly, but who aren't DJs today. So back to our comments. Delmar says, play music based on who you see. This is a very good idea for anyone, of course, but yes, very true. Lots of Raiden says, big respect to DJs who play 5-hour DJ sets. I think anyone who started, give us some thumbs up if you're one of these people. Anyone who started DJing and ended up playing in bars and stuff knows all about 5-hour DJ sets. Before I was a club DJ, when I was working up to there, I was playing 5 days a week, 5-hour sets, 8 till 1. I loved it, but it was hard work on your feet all that time. Don't play anthems too early, says Delmar. Yeah, again, we're talking about non-DJs. We're talking about people who just get, you're putting music on and leaving it. You're not DJing. You're not actually just sat there DJ. You might be the restaurant owner. You might be the guy cooking at the barbecue. You might be the girl in charge of the party. And you're putting music on so you can go away and do something else. There's no DJ there. That's what we're talking about really today. Non-DJs, just basic rules. And one of them is, pick the playlist or pick the whatever for the occasion. And as we said, keep the volume about right. So a few of you saying, yeah, I DJ a lot like that. Nigel says, every weekend, bro. I used to work in Specsavers, says one of our team, Scott. And he says, once an unedited Kanye West track came on, I've never run so fast in my life as I knew the N-word was coming. Delmar says, it's not all about dancing. People who nod their heads are enjoying the music. And that's very true. Okay, so let's move on and carry on with our 5 non-DJ tips. If you're not a DJ and you've had this shared to you by one of our kind DJs here at Digital DJ Tips, but you run a restaurant, you run a bar, you throw parties, you play music in your house, whatever, when your mates are around, this is how to get it right. We've already covered getting the volume right. We've already covered playing music for the other people who are there, not for yourself. Number 3, God, this one annoys me, and I want you to hit likes and shares if it annoys you. Happened to me so recently, I'll tell you in a minute. Number 3, do not let music repeat. Do not let music repeat. Do not let music repeat. It's annoying, isn't it? God, it's annoying. I was stuck on a runway recently on a plane, and the plane there was an issue with the plane in front, so we had to wait there for like 40 minutes, and it was, can't remember what airline it was, but it's one of these airlines that plays kind of Zen music, but they've only got 6 tracks and they're playing on loop to the whole plane, sat there like this waiting to take off over and over and over again. This is what happens if you play music that repeats itself in a venue. This is what happens. There's only 2 things that are going to happen to the half of the world who hear music. The half who don't hear music are going to be oblivious. The half who hear music, this is what's going to happen. Well, 3 things really. Number 1, they're going to notice straight away, I promise you that. Literally straight away. And they're going to do 1 or 2 things. If they've got to stay at the venue because they're having dinner with someone, they're meeting people and stuff, they're going to get really pissed off with your venue because you've let the music repeat and that's annoying them. I guarantee you that's the exact thing they're going to think. They're going to get annoyed. But if they don't have to be there, their instinct is going to be huge to get up and leave that venue. Why? Because it's a bit like a drunk person telling you the same thing over and over again in your ear. What do you want to do then? You want to leave, right? Or it's a bit like, if you've ever looked up at work and looked round and you're in the office and you think, none of these people were here when I joined. Have I been in this job too long? It's a bit like that feeling as well. And another version of it, it's a bit like, when you listen to the radio all day at work and there's some stations that say no repeat work day, aren't there? Because they know that repeating the music in the work day is a big no-no. But if you ever listen to the radio all day, when the song comes on again, that you heard earlier, you think, God, I've been listening to this station for a long time. Maybe I'll just tune in somewhere else. All these things are not good if it's your party, your venue, your business, and you're in charge of hitting play on some kind of music in that venue. Do not let your music repeat. It is not good. Now, I'm not talking about like over the weeks. I'm talking about over the hours. I'm talking about when people are still there who haven't gone anywhere, right? So don't let music repeat. It's such a big one and it's so annoying to us people. I mean, hit the right buttons if it annoys you. I'm sure it does, and I'm sure I've got lots of people agreeing with me down here. Even playing the same song twice at a wedding proves the concept of diminishing returns, says Ali. This is exactly what I was talking about, says Stephanie. I was having a cigarette. Can you play it again? My mate wasn't ready. It's her birthday. It's my birthday. Blah, 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 says Mark. We were in the toilet. Yep, but this is all the stuff DJs have to deal with. But of course, slightly different when you're the DJ. There are times when you can play a song twice. I always used to like playing, if there was one really big song in the night and I was playing all night, I might play it at the end when the lights were up, just one more time for people. But a lot of people agreeing with this. I agree with not letting songs repeat on cycles, says Delmar. I've been to some awesome parties where DJs are pushing their speakers too much, and the sound sounds like crap, says Jav. You should know your sound setup. Okay, so lots of people agreeing with that there on our Facebook page, and over on our YouTube page, loads and loads of you just going like this. So let's give a shout out here to a few people. Hi to Emma and Ewin, and to Steve, who says, "What's up from Canada?" So a few of you going on about this idea of not playing obscene versions of songs or explicit versions of songs. There are always clean versions out there. Number 2, this is the music being played in that's not appropriate for the occasion. It used to happen all the time at my workplace. That really annoyed me. When you work at a business that plays music, you tend to tune out. If you don't, you might go mad hearing the same song over and over again. Really, really good point from Bajan Rascase. Yeah, you're dead right. You know, I sometimes feel so sorry for people who work in these places, and this is happening. Hi to Dirty Jokes fan in Frankfurt. Hi to Sammy in Ghana. Okay, so right, we're talking through the 5 big rules for people who are not DJs, who are in charge of the music. They're having to hit play on something. They're having to like turn the music on and then go and carry on working in the venue, or do the barbecue, or enjoy their own party or whatever. But if you haven't got a DJ and you're in charge of the music, this is for you. And if you've had this shared with you by one of our awesome DJs here in the Digital DJ Tips community, then watch it, because they want you to see this stuff. And DJs, please hit share on this if you're enjoying this and you think people in your friends list would like to see this stuff or need to see this stuff. So number 4, here's another big one, right? Don't play whole artist albums one end to the other. Don't just put an album on and think it's good enough. That's what playlists were invented for, people. Look, we're not back in the 1990s. Do not put the Oasis album on. The worst one I heard was, this was actually back in that Indian restaurant. It played Eurythmics' greatest hits like over and over again. This breaks the repeat rule and the artist album rule. Oh, and it was too loud. There's 3 of the 5 rules broken. Eurythmics' greatest hits. Now, I like all of you probably love Sweet Dreams. It's a great song, but even I don't want to hear, and I'm from, I was a teenager in the 80s. Even I don't want to hear that stuff over and over again. I know no one else does. Do not play complete albums. It's the height of laziness. Now, compilation albums are a bit different because they're kind of like a playlist. And there can be ones that suit your venue, of course, there can be ones that don't. But do not hit play on an artist album and think that's good enough. It always isn't good enough. It's not good enough because, of course, some people won't like the artist, and it's going to be, the album will have been made to sit down and listen properly to, not just to have one as background music in a venue, in a restaurant or whatever. Don't play whole artist albums. So that's number 4. If you think that you know people who do this stuff in public, and when you have to endure it, hit that share button. And I'm going to a few of you saying, great, agreed. So that's cool. And over on Facebook, the amount of arguments I've had saying no to doing this kind of thing, says Mark. A good rule, never play more than 1 track from the same artist in a DJ set. Yeah, that's true, of course, although you could get away with remixes and B-sides and stuff that people don't know is the same artist. But yeah, there's some good tips coming in there. So let us know if you've ever been in a place where they played the same album over and over again. What was it? Did it annoy you? Did you leave? Did you tell anyone? I'd like to know what you've got to say about that. So we're talking about 5 rules for people who have to play music in public, but who aren't DJs. And this is people either commercial establishments, gyms, restaurants, whatever, or just if you throw a party and you hit play on your stereo and your Sonos or whatever you're playing, you go off and do your thing. What comes out of those speakers can be done well and done badly, even if you're not a DJ. We've already covered volume. We've already covered playing for other people, not for yourself. We've covered not letting music repeat. We've covered playing albums by the same artist. No, no, no. Number 5, this is more a tip than a rule, but it is a rule really. Rule number 5 is a very simple one, and this is more for people who work in commercial places, clothes shops, hairdressers, restaurants, bars, and so on. If you work in a place like that, if you own a place like that, it's a really, really good idea to sign up for a business streaming service. So this is a bit like Spotify or Apple Music, but they're designed for business. There's one called Soundtrack Your Brand, and it's run by Spotify. It basically uses Spotify's catalog. And this is what I installed for my friend who runs the restaurant, the really cool restaurant with the bad music. what it does is give you a nice calendar where you can program when you're open in a schedule, and you can say moods and styles of music and when it's got to be more upbeat, when it's got to be more downbeat. And you basically program all your music and you hit go. And then that's it. Your music, you turn your music on when you arrive, you turn it off at the end, and everything is taken care of for you. There's no repeating, there's no inappropriate music, there's no Christmas songs in May. Everything's taken care of for you. All you've got to do is keep an eye on that volume, and that's it. Signing up for a commercial streaming service is a really, really good idea because it will keep your customers coming back for more. And it will pay for itself without a shadow of a doubt. And as I say, that's what my friend did, who was playing Christmas tracks in May, which of course is a complete no. And you know, he's never looked back. They're still doing it now years later. So lots of you just giving me claps for that. Definitely, says Charles. Even as a member of bar staff picking a playlist, it's important to know your customer, says Mark. Yeah, exactly. You know, try and, if you work in a bar or something and the owner is one of the people, we've been talking about, there's a line down the middle of humanity. This half understand, hear, like, notice music. This half, it's like fresh air. They never do. If your boss is one of the people who's like fresh air, show them this video, share it with them and say, look, this is you, no offense, you're a great guy or girl, but you don't hear music. I do, and so do half your customers, and you're pissing them off. So let me take care of your music. And then you can do this stuff. You can sign up for a service if they're prepared to pay for it. And if not, you can start playlisting for them. And that brings me on to my final point. And this is the real reason I want you guys and girls to hit share on this video. Tell people to jump to this point if you want. If you are in charge of a venue and it's a special night, it's a weekend, people might be filling your place up and you take double the money over the bar than normal, whatever the reason is, take some of that money and give it to a DJ. Because guess what? Those DJs understand sound systems. They understand volume. They understand keeping it in the right context for the place and the time of night and the number of people who are there. They understand programming. By the way, non-DJs, that's another word for getting your set list or your playlist in the right order. They understand context. They understand not to play whole artist albums. They know how to cut the gaps out between the tracks. In short, they know how to do all the things I've just been talking about that non-DJs, especially those who music is fresh air to, it's not something that they even hear particularly, they know how to do all this stuff. You will get back double, treble the amount of money you pay a DJ to come in, as long as that DJ knows his or her stuff, to do a good job for you. That money's coming back because the half of the audience who you're pissing off by playing artist albums, by playing stuff on repeat, by playing it too loud, by playing it too quietly, by distorting your speakers, by just not showing the care and attention that sometimes is beyond you, the busy owner of the sound system, you can get a DJ to do that for you. And it's just as much worth spending that money on the DJ as it is on your chefs, on your bar staff, on your receptionist in the gym, or whatever. If you've got a special occasion and you know you're going to fill your venue, whatever it is, hire a DJ and you will get more than the money back that you spent on that DJ. It's why DJs are here. So there we go. That is the Digital DJ Tips, 5 rules for playing music in public for non-DJs, with a tip at the end there. Please hit share, please get this out there far and wide, and please give us your comments underneath as well, our community. I want you to share nightmare scenarios when you've been subjected to this kind of thing. I want you to share other rules for non-DJs that we maybe haven't covered, and I want you to basically get the word out for this because, well, there's a need for it, right? I mean, how often does it happen? I can think the last time it happened to me, well, it was on that plane just a few days ago, but it happens over and over and over again. Forever 21, the store, sure has a smart playlist every time we visit it. Not ashamed to say I've Shazammed a few tracks now and then from there, says Ali. Hit like or thumbs up if you Shazammed tracks in the shops. I'm doing it all the time. I think it's an awesome place to discover music. Yeah, so there you go. There's a good reason. Charles just says, have a wonderful day, Phil. And Delmar says, thanks so much. This works for bands too, says Jared. What a great thing to say. It does. It works for bands if you're playing in venues where there's a band that plays every Friday night down a pub down. We live in an apartment block. We live on the top floor of an apartment block, and there's a band that plays down on the waterfront, and they are obviously playing tunes to keep people there and drinking. They're not paying for themselves. So yeah, good point. The disadvantages of these tips are great reasons as a selling point if you're a DJ and you want to work in that venue, says Mark Pyman. Yeah, good point. Yes, I've Shazammed many songs in trendy clothes stores. Okay, so that's kind of a few of our people chatting away over there on Facebook. Just a few more shout outs from YouTube before we go. Just a few hellos there really. Darren says, hi, Phil and the gang, from Darren in Perth, Australia. Many people don't realise that just to spend that bit of money makes a big difference. It's sometimes a cultural thing, says Bob. Yeah, well, hopefully we can get this word out a bit far and wide. Steve says, I love you, Phil. And of course, Mr. Santos, Joey. So thank you for that, Steve. Greetings from Jakarta, says Indigo DeVille. Nice to see you, Indigo. Not seen you for a bit. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. Just before we go, I just want to share something with you very quickly, and that is, I'll get out of the way and tell you about this. This is where you can go right now to this URL here, djtips.co/producer. And this is where you can find out about our dance music formula training. This gets any DJ from scratch to making and releasing commercial quality, broadcast quality, playlist quality, dance music of all genres. It's only available at the moment. It will stop at the end of this week. We only bring this course out once a year. It's taught by Joey Santos, who was just referred to by one of our viewers. It's an awesome course. We are over halfway full now for this year. We cut off students at the end of the week and then we start teaching it. It's a course that you don't need to start straight away. You can buy it and you can start whenever you want, take as long as you want to take it, and you can come back to it as often as you want. It's videos, but you get tutor feedback, you get tutor feedback on your actual tunes. You can upload your tunes as you're making them. It uses Ableton Live, and we've even got a 40% discount on Ableton Live from Ableton for everyone who takes the course. It really is good value, so if you've ever wanted to produce music, this is your chance to do it with Digital DJ Tips and with Joey. Hit that link, djtips.co/producer. There you go. And you can find out about that now. It's been a lot of fun today. Thank you very much to everyone who's contributed. It's awesome to have you here. If you are watching this on the replay, that's cool, but do subscribe next time so you can watch it there. And if you've just joined us live, again, subscribe. You will see this stuff when it goes live. You'll get notified, but you can go and watch this on the replay. It'll be available very soon. All that's left for me to say is get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.